job is to highlight the spiritual aspect of our religion. That's what I try to do, and he's my guide, my mentor is in Pakistan. Qari Sahib, during the prayer, he recited the surah, the words, and literally it means we have exalted for you your status or your members. Anybody with all our best humanly possible intellect can say or guess what is the status of Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Anybody? Is there any limit? So to this regard, I will recite few verses and then inshallah I will start my speech. Actually my speech topic today is Shani Risala, and I have to touch upon the adab and love of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, inshallah. So just few verses of Nasir. This is from language striking. Hakikat Muhammad di pago ini sakta. As it said, who can know the status of Holy Prophet? That's what it says. Hakikat Muhammad di pago ini sakta. Chup di ja hai Allah ko nahi sakta. Silence is the best option here. Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam himself said, and talked to Hazrat Abu Bakr, Ya Abi Bakr, Lam yarifni hakikatun ghair Rabbi. My reality knows nobody, my status knows nobody except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And there's another verse, Khira nazar ko dekhe jo us mahtab ko, Allah jane shane rasalat maaf ko. You just have to be quiet. That's the best possible. So with this one, inshallah, I will go to a lecture now. And before I go there, it just came to my mind. Hazrat Bayezid Bustami, I hope most of us know about him. He has very esteemed status in the spiritual world. He said, one day this thought just crossed my mind to just see what is the status of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, spiritual status. He went into meditation. And now this is according to him. He said, where my level ended, as far as I could go, that's where his status started. And there were 1,000 curtains of light between me and him, his status. And had I exceeded a step further, I would be burned. I always recite this verse before the talk because this is full of respect. Hazar bar bashoyam dahan se mushkil bar. No matter how many times you breathe your mouth, mouthwash of the liking, fragrance of the liking, scent of the liking. Hanuz, nametu guftan kamal birliyiz. You are not clean enough to utter his name. You do whatever you want to clean yourself. It's a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You are citing his name, but you don't qualify for that. That's where his status, and that's our status is. Adab ka haste. Zere asma az arsh nazukta. Below the sky, there is a sanctuary of utmost respect, which you and me cannot abide by. So what happened there? Nafs gum karda mi aayat junaid bayidi inda. Those esteemed people, spiritual giants, what they do? Nafs gum karda mi aayat, they just keep silent. Just bend your head and sit there. Surah Al-Hujurat, verse 49. Now, so I have to touch upon the same silence. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself said, now we need to understand, Holy Prophet ﷺ came to introduce Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to all of us. His existence. He's there. And these are his protocols. He never taught people about his own protocol. You need to know this difference. And who taught people about Rasulullah's protocol? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself. Open the Holy Quran and read the Surah Al-Hujurat. So what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said, Ya ayyuhallazina amanu, La tarfa'u aswatakum fawqa sawti an-nabi. I will not read the entire, but I will give you the concept. O believers, don't raise your voices above the voice of Holy Prophet. Alright? So those believers, they are very pious people sitting in there. Whatever Rasulullah has taught them, has told them, they have carried out. Fasts, prayers, recitation, Umrah, Hajj. Way better than us, bazillion times. But what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, with all those credentials, if you raise your voice above the voice of Holy Prophet ﷺ, what am I going to do? I'm going to take everything away from you. All your deeds are null and void. This is his importance and this is his other. And this is Holy Quran, Surah Al-Hujurat. So there was Sahabi, Hazrat Sabit bin Qais, Radiyallahu anhu. He was hard of hearing. People who are hard of hearing, they cannot have this feedback of the voice or sound to their brain, so they keep raising the voice higher and higher. So this was the issue with the Sahabi. When this verse came, he went home and chained himself. He said, I'm in trouble. Everything is gone. Just because I used to raise my voice in the majlis of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam came to know about him, he said, bring him here. So he was brought. And Rasulullah said, this is for your benefit. I know it's not intentional, but this is for everybody else. So that's how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told and taught the other of the company of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam through the Holy Quran. So what happened then? When that person took it, this command, the other verse came. And this verse was, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يَغُضُّونَ أَصْوَاتَهُمْ عِنْدَ رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ امْتَحَنَ اللَّهُ قُلُوبَهُمْ بِالتَّقْوَى. So those who have accepted the adab and respect of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, now their heart is filled with what? Taqwa. So where did taqwa came from? Adab. Respect and adab for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this adab is as important as anything else in the religion. If you take this away, according to first ayah, first verse, everything else is gone. So my humble respect to all of you is, when you visit Holy Prophet ﷺ in Medina Park, any time in your life, just keep that in mind. La tarfa'u aswatakum. Even today, why say that? I'll explain. When we die, it's not absolute death. It's only the separation of soul from the body. The body goes to ground, soul goes to barzakh. Are you with me? Understand? Now, your and my body will be decomposed down in the earth. But, now, before I go to the next step, when you and me see, hear, talk, everything healthy, we say, is because of ears, because of tongue, because of eyes. But if there is no soul, all these healthy faculties will not work for you. We are functional because the soul is in there. When the soul is gone, we are linked. Our stag in the Almi Barzakh. Rasulullah ﷺ has said, the earth has been forbidden, the soil, to decompose the body of the Prophet ﷺ. So be careful. Please exercise the adab when you go there. Arwah, souls, they are different than the bodies when they are not within the cage of the body. They can hear long distance, they can see long distance. Here, because of our own nature, when these people who are spiritually elevated, now the commands of souls apply to them, not of this physical body. So they can travel in time, they can travel in space, without any restriction, like angels. Come and go, because they're all souls. Light, nur. That's where our soul is. So please, this is my humble respect. Sahaba Kiram Rizwanullah Ta'ala sitting in the within the premises of the Masjid Nabawi Sharif. And Rasulullah ﷺ came out and asked them this question. I'll read this Arabic mantra for you. Ma ajlasakum. Why you are gathered? They replied, Jalasna, we have sat here. Nazkurullah, ونحمده على ما هدانا لدينه. We are here praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, thanking Him for being on religion He has given to us. And وَمَنَّا عَلَيْنَا بِكَ, and the favor in your form and shape which has been given to us, we being thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is from Sahih Muslim and Sunan Nasir, this hadith part. Huzur asked them, do you swear that's what you are doing? And this was shocking to the Sahaba background. This was very unusual of Rasulullah to ask this way. They say, yes, we swear by it. And then Rasulullah said, I was sitting in solitude and Jibreel came to me. And he said, go and see what's going on outside. Whatever they're doing, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is just conveying His bright angels. He's very proud of what they're doing. And Surah says, that's why I want to make sure what you're doing, and that's what's been going on. And that's what we are going, alhamdulillah, it's been going on here too. Now, 12 prophets at least, 12 prophets. They desired to be among the Ummah of Rasulullah because of status. And we are very lucky to be part of this Ummah. Now, with the same wording of favor from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and probably you have heard this verse again and again and again. I just want to highlight again how important it is. His presence for us is very, very important. The ayah in Surah Al-Imran, لَقَدْ مَنَّ اللَّهُ عَلَى الْمُؤْمِنِينَ إِذَا بَعَثَ فِيهِمْ رَسُولٌ مِّنْ أَنفُسِهِمْ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He has not, Faisal, correct me if I'm wrong, used the word manna for any other blessing which has been given to us, for nothing else except the Holy Prophet, the blessing of the Prophet. He specifically has highlighted this sending of Him from among you is my favor upon you. And then the next part of the verse said, so how this favor works for you. So what blessings He will provide to you. First one said, Yatlu alayhim ayatihi. Reciting verses upon you. It's a complete subject now. If it doesn't go beyond, it's complete. Then the second part, وَيُزَكِّيهِمْ. He will cleanse you externally and internally. And then what? Once you have attained that stage, it started with recitation of verses, then purification, and then وَيُعَلِّمُ الْكِتَابِ. Then you are ready for the knowledge of the book. It's not the knowledge you and me think. It's different level. Yeah, we read it very superficially. And now let me bring you from another verse from Holy Quran, what this knowledge can do. This is from Surah Al-Naml, the ant, verse 39 and 40. And this is the gathering of Prophet Hazrat Sulaiman alayhi salam. And he had the command, birds, animals, humans, wind, you name it. And our Prophet ﷺ has وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ عَالَمِينَ. Not contained just in this sphere of the universe. This is for planet Earth. Alameen, wherever they are. Alright. So, and duties of the prophets, they're almost the same. They all do one job, introducing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His laws to the public and the other animals, plants, whichever you can think of. So when a bird brought a news of the Queen Saba to Hazrat Sulaiman alayhi salam, so there was a news of throne of her too. And since she wanted to send invitation to the queen, she said, I need her throne as well before she comes here. And this throne is sitting miles and miles and miles away. And he, among his followers, he asked, who can bring it to me before she arrives? One jinn. Iblis was also a jinn. He was not an angel. He said, I can bring it to you before you disperse this gathering. And the word at the end he used, it struck me, and I will bring it to you why. I think it's very interesting. He said, وَإِنِّي عَلَيْهِ لَقَوِيٌّ أَمِينٌ. I'm strong and trustworthy. As Sulaiman alayhi salam moved on to a person, let me read this now to you. And that person, قال الذي عنده علم من الكتاب. I'm touching on the ilm of the book, knowledge of the book, the true knowledge of the book, what it can do. He said, I can bring the throne to you before or you move your gates. How much time is that?
Fraction of a second.
And this was very heavy, large throne, okay, and sitting miles and miles away. Nobody knew the destination. Unknown destination.
Yeah, thousands of miles away.
So what happened? Fraction of a second, the throne was in front of him. So this is the power of the knowledge of the book, taught by the Prophet, his followers. So before I move on, the reason that word struck me, and it's in the Holy Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not like boasting and arrogance. If you say, I'm powerful, He's Allahu Akbar. You better be asleep. So what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't like, Prophet ﷺ don't like it either. So in my humble opinion, that's the reason the assignment moved on to somebody else who didn't say a word. But he did have the true knowledge. And where he got the knowledge from? The Prophet gave him the knowledge. If you paid attention to this entire verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the first verse said, I have given the Prophet to you as a favor. And what Prophet is giving to you now? Recitation, purification, book of knowledge and wisdom. Who is giving? The Prophet is giving you because Allah has sent him to you to do this job. Now, let's go to same Prophet, Hazrat Sulaiman alayhi salam. So what was his power? Okay. So him and his army is on the way. And this is verse 18 and 19. Alright? An ant, Chioti, is asking the other ants, you better move fast, go into your dwelling, before these people, they crush you. And what happened? Now, we see these ants all the time, every single day. Have somebody ever heard ants' voice? Have you? The sound we can hear is from 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz. That's the frequency our human ear can perceive.
True.
The ant makes a sound of 1 kilohertz, which means it's within the spectrum of our perception. Alright? But even if you put your ear next to ant mound, can you hear the sound? Alright? This prophet who is with the army,
There's miles away.
alright? I don't know, 1 mile, 10 steps, a lot of noise going on. He heard the ant talking. Alright? This is the power of those who give you the true knowledge. This is the power. So he smiled. Alright? And then what he said, I will read the translation for you. And this is the lesson again. The person, the holy prophet who had all the powers of everything, he's saying, my Lord, give me the strength and ability. He already had the strength and abilities, but he is practicing his humility. Look at the difference between the jinn in his company and himself. Be thankful for your grace. You have graced me and my parents with, and to do good deeds which please you. He was already doing the good deeds. He had an accomplished person in his court who brought this throne from unknown destination within a fraction of a second. This is the power. The one who teach the book, give the knowledge to others and give wisdom to others. Another example, Surah Yusuf, verse 93. Let me read the verse, it's not long. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Udhabu bikamisi haza. Take shirt of mine, and this is Holy Quran. Fa'alkuhu ala wajhi, and put it on his face. I'm giving you the exact translation. What's going to happen then? Wajhi abi, my dad's face, put it on him. And who was his dad? Another prophet. Yati Busira. His vision will be restored. Are you with me? This is a prophet with the knowledge of the book, teaching the knowledge to others, sending his shirt to another prophet. Just the shirt touching his face will do what? Restore his vision. What happened when the shirt departed from that destination? Hazrat Yaqub alayhi salam said, I can smell his scent. What is this? These are the powers of the prophets. Unfortunately, nobody wants to talk about it. This is all part of the religion. It's in the Holy Quran. I'm giving you the verse by verse. Quotation. Let's come to Holy Prophet with all these in mind. Abu Jahl, who was uncle of Holy Prophet. And before I move on, I will touch upon another aspect of the other. Whoever respected Rasulullah in his family became Muslim. Whoever accepted him as Rasulullah became Muslim. But even among his family members, who used to call him my brother's son or my nephew, never accepted, took him as Rasulullah sallam, he died kafir. This was the other versus no other. And I was listening to somebody a few days ago while preparing my talk, and he said, you will never come across a holy hadith coming from any family member saying, Kala Abi, Kala Akhi, my dad said, my brother said, Kala Ibnu Akhi, my nephew said. No. They all respected from the depth of heart and soul, said Kala Rasulullah sallam, Kala Rasulullah sallam. That's why they became Muslim. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keeps Rasulullah sallam very serious. And you can tell from the just the Holy Quran. So, the Abu Jahl, when the Islam was spreading a little bit more than he expected, he called upon his friend in Yemen. His name was Habib. And Habib was a scholar of his own religion. And he asked him to come here. You need to counter the argument we are facing here and do your own dawah. He came. And he, face to face, he explained everything to him. And now his friend said, before I say or do anything, I would like to meet with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This was a red flag for Abu Jahl. He said he may get converted too. And he tried to dissuade him, don't do it. And he said, no, this is my condition, I need to do it. So, invitation was sent to Holy Prophet ﷺ. Holy Prophet ﷺ came with Hazrat Abu Bakr to that gathering. When he came, then nobody had the nerve to say anything to him. Dumbfounded. And then he himself asked, what is the matter? And then Habib, he stood up. He said, I have heard you are claiming to be a prophet. So. And I have one demand of you. If you are a true prophet, split the moon. Now, this person was smart and intelligent. Now, this is the contrast. Those two prophets I mentioned, they were dealing with the earthly matters. Now, this is almost 3,000, 50,000 miles in the space, the moon. That's the distance approximately. He says, split the moon. So this person, which means he believed in the powers of the prophets, the miracles, and the second part was, he did not ask for anything else on the surface of the earth. Because at that time, people used to render magic. You could change things because of the magic. So what Holy Prophet said? Nothing. He took him and all the mob. It was night, full moon. This is Jabal Abu Qubais. This is the name of that mountain in that vicinity. When they went there, holy finger was raised, the moon is sliced, 2 equal halves. After a while, he waved the holy finger again, they both fused as nothing has happened. Now, ponder your thoughts. Not a single word was said to any person or to the moon. The moon exactly understood what is meant by the first gesture and what is meant by the second gesture. This is the power. This is the power whose duty is وَيُعَلِّمُهُ الْكِتَابَ, the book we have. These powers are there if we have been given that knowledge. So seeing this, what he said, Habib, what do you think what he will do now? He shouted at the Abu Jahl and Utbah and the other people. He said, Ashhadu la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. I am Muslim. Those people, the other people, they still remain kafir. He saw it too. He was there. But he lost the game. Moving on to next. Kaisa, please stop me when it's time because I may keep going on. Choice of if you want to just
So you can tidy yourself.
yeah. This is a verse in the Holy Quran, in Surah Al-Ahzab. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. An-Nabiyyu awla bil mu'minina min anfusihim. Now I have to touch upon this a little bit. What does it mean? It's the extension of the same subject. When it's come to Holy Prophet ﷺ, we should not exist. Our desires, our own self, our own nafs should not exist. That's what said, he should take precedence according to this verse. He should be your priority, period. And this is a verse I have a whole lot of references to this part. Love Allah because of what He gave you from His blessings. Love me because of the love of Allah. And love my ADAB because of my love. And I have almost half a dozen quotes, references for this hadith. Another one, then I will come to the more details. Another hadith book. Ullam awladakum salasa khisal. 3 things. Teach your kids. On the top is Hubbi Nabiyu, love of the Prophet. Wahubbi alihi, his family. Tilawat al-Quran. 3 things. If you want to be successful, hold tight to them. Next hadith about La yumenu ahadakum hatta akunu ahabba. It's another one, but I believe your translation where it says, none of you, maybe none of us, can be true believer or Muslim until his love, Sallallahu love, take over our love for our wealth, children, parents, and our own self. 4 things. So which mean us, our belongings, our desire should have no value when it comes to Sallallahu. That should take precedence, and that's what this ayah said. Al-Nabiyyu awla bil mu'mineen min anfusihim. The nafs is the dearest thing to us. You can get rid of anything, but you still love your life. It's very hard to sacrifice that for somebody. Let's come to that one now. Hazrat Aisha radhiyallahu anha once asked Holy Prophet ﷺ, among all the Sahaba, who is the righteous or who has as many deeds as there are galaxies out in the skies? Or stars, if you want to call them. Rasulullah said, Umar. Now, to attain that status, what kind of prayer or mujahada he would not have done? If he was on the top of everybody, what would have been left by him? Can you imagine? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? He did everything